On today's podcast, we'll be covering 12 tips to be social distancing prepared, so stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. You can find the show notes to each episode, links to information mentioned on the podcast, the social media platforms we're on, and anything else related to the podcast at warehousesafetytips.com. Now, if you're a seasoned podcast listener, this podcast is going to be different from most you listen to. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money and each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the podcast. Being social distancing prepared is going to be on the short list of almost every business in our country and many places in the world. As it pertains to warehouses, here's a list of 12 tips. These and all of our other tips are by no means everything that needs to be done, and the tips that are mentioned are definitely a high-level view. With that said, here are 12 tips to get started with. Number 1, know what regulations you're required to follow and what you want implemented. Consider that this may vary facility to facility. Number 2, walk your facility and detail how and where you need to implement the wants and regulations of your social distancing plans. This may include, but is by no means limited to the following. Number 3, assure staff are distanced by 6-foot work areas. 4, install partitions between work areas. 5, implement one-way traffic flows. 6, post social distancing safety signs and floor markings. Before moving on, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and/or safety products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. Now back to the podcast. 7, modify your picking strategies. 8, integrate tool sanitation stations. 9, create touch-free order consolidation. 10, implement zero interaction delivery. 11, consider staggering shifts. And 12, schedule breaks strategically. Being social distancing prepared will assist in keeping you and your staff safe, and that's what we're here for. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips and have a safe day.